We're back. I think we're back. I wouldn't know. All right, another week. Just like that, piece of cake. Okay, well, here's what we got going. Tom got his differential back from the shop. They put Mosier axles in it, heavy duty. I don't know much about them. He's got 410 gears, locking differential. I'll say it's Mosier too. I don't know. And he's got another box here that says Mosier part number 7111. We'll have to open that up and see what that is. So we're gonna get that axle cleaned up today. Maybe get some paint on it. I'll show you how I do that. He did get the 1450 universal joint input. That way it's tougher. The guys say it's pretty much unbreakable. So that's going to get us one step closer to having a roller. We get that installed on these. No, they're not there. They're over there. On the rear drag leg. Yeah, I don't have them done yet. I know. I've been telling you. This week isn't over. I mean, your week's over, but my week's not over. I mean, for the show. That's it. And then we got some tires. So we're going to see what we can get happen here with the tires and this. Get this thing a roller. Then I can roll it in and out. For whatever reason, I'd want to do that. Then we can get that engine in there. I'm dying to see that 6 liter sitting in there. But let's get to it. I'll get you moved so you can see this differential. Now, it's nothing too exciting today. I mean, it is. But as you can see, it needs a little paint. To say the least. Well, let's check out this box. It's got something in here. It says Mosier on it. And it's, oh, it's got a differential in it. Huh. Or, excuse me, differential cover. And this one's the one, I don't know how well you can see that. You've got a reinforced Mosier. But it's got the button things that you... I don't know. I'm not a hot rodder. I don't do this stuff. But it basically holds against the bearings in here. It makes them stronger. It's a pretty healthy, hunky piece of aluminum, I'll tell you that. We don't need to keep that in there now. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's first try and see what we got. I know I just got you set up, but these are just miscellaneous odds and ends. Tires and wheels, just to make it a roller. I think I don't know, they're mostly different. Meaning they're not exactly the same. We'll get that over here. And we'll see about getting these tires on the front. You probably could have seen them, but I'm going to get you over there anyway. Let's try to get these on there. Have us a roller. I'm excited. You got my gloves on. And the wife watches sometimes. I make sure I keep my fingernails clean. I'm not saying much about different companies and what have you, but this is a Duralast 2.5 ton jack. I gotta tell you, I like it. I've had other brands I didn't care that much for, but the wheels don't squeak on it, and when you pump it, it don't squeak like puddings. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about him. Squeaky jack guy. I don't like it. Bothers me. I thought I just use that chair for sitting. No, I use it for working. Watch me struggle. No, put it on there. Now, you might have been thinking I wasn't planning ahead, but I got my lug nuts over here. Just some miscellaneous lug nuts I had. Oh, I think they come off the 71 when I put stainless steels on. Yeah, I said it, stainless steel on that one. Well, look at that. We ain't gonna tighten those down. This thing won't be going down the highway. Not this week. And I don't think it'll be leaving here without having some real wheels on it. That's not the look I would go after. But the look I'm after is this thing being able to roll around. That's why they call it a roller. Alrighty. Then we can let it down on the suspension and give us a little look at it. It won't fit just right with the rear end being up in the air and all, but I kind of feel spoiled all of a sudden. Can you see that other side? I mean, not like it's, you know, real exciting work or anything you haven't never seen before, but you've never seen it on the 68. That's right, the 1968 C10 in some color eventually. No, he doesn't even know what color he's gonna make it. I don't, there's no hurry. I don't think he's got to order paint this week or next. But we'll get there eventually. One thing after another, one thing leads to another. Life comes progress. I'm trying to be clever about lining them bolts up. Not gonna happen. That fits on there. You know what? I'm gonna take my chair down. Well, 2 tires in the front. It's a half roller. Now, I've been telling you over and over, I'm gonna get them drag links done. But with this differential sitting here, I don't really have any excuse to drag my feet any longer than I already have. Get that put in. I think I showed you these 20 shows ago. Those are the original U-bolts with the original nuts on there. I mean, come on. Why get new ones when they're 50, like 4 years old? Yeah, 54. This is 68. Anyway, and they're still good. I think they'll be just fine for us. And then the drag links got the original bolts too, and they're in nice shape. A little dusty, but they're in good shape, so we can use those. So as soon as I get some trailing arms in, I can get this differential under there. We got ourselves a roller. Then the motors after that. Well, this is a good start. Make a little progress here and there. I'm so excited. I'm gonna get my jack stands back. I can use them on that differential when we clean it up. This is all gonna work out perfect. Yeah, perfect. What else could a person want? Later? Yeah, later. I said it. I already said later. 5 minutes in, I've already said later. Stuff it out. Well, it's official. You can't have a garage YouTube station without having the compressor come on during a video. I'm no different. Would you look at that? That's the first time I've been on there, because I didn't do this before you guys. Why would I? But what I'm curious about is now that I'm looking at that, I want to know. You want to know what I'm talking about? I'm going to grab a tape measure because I'm dying to see where that's setting in comparison to my 71 here. So we're going to pick a spot to measure from that I can find on that. Well, it won't be the sway bar because he doesn't have a front sway bar. Oh, let's see. Let's just go off the front and frame one, I guess. Right on the bottom. And get squared up enough. About 13 inches. Well, 13 and a half. We're going to try both sides. Not that this side should be any different. Yeah, 13 and a half. We'll go 13 1/4 just because I think I'm looking down. So 13 1/4. I'm not gonna move you again just to measure mine. It's right here. All right, let's see what we got. Now that's with those tires. I know that throws it off, but I have. Uh-oh, Tom, you're not gonna like this. I'm at 10. I'm at 10 inches, he's at 13. Now don't get me wrong, there's no motor, there's no body, there's no cab, there is nothing on this. But I'm right at 10, and he's at 13. I gotta look really close. He's at 13 1/4. So will it sag 3 inches with a 6 liter in there? I'm betting it probably will. All right. Wow. Big changes. I should have done this off camera. Let me get you over here so you can watch me struggle. And if I drop this on the floor, you can giggle and laugh. You wouldn't do that. I know better. No, it doesn't have to be up on these. I just thought, I don't know what I thought. Why not? I like the idea of it better. I would like to, that's fine. How many notches I got on that jack stand? 2. I got 2 on this side. You know, it all has to be the same. Not really, but. Look at that. Perfect. And spinning around and everything. So, here's my chair. We've got so much to do. Don't let it get ahead of you. You're always worried about so much to do, you'll just frustrate yourself and you'll get behind and you'll feel like you're never going to get it done, but that's not the way you should be. So look one more time. I don't know, you can probably see me, but if you can't, it would probably be really boring. And I gotta quit doing that stuff. It just makes extra racket. I can move you a little closer anyway. While I'm over here monkeying around, I might as well. Alright, you're probably sick of being moved. I'm sick of moving. I'm never going to move again. I mean, my house. All right. Oh, I guess I got one more move to make, but we're not going to talk about that today either. So, when he took this in, they said they were going to power wash it. Yeah. He must have forgot. Because by the looks of this, right there, it didn't get power washed. Or maybe he's just got one of them Chinesium garbage car washers. Now this don't have to be perfect, but I can't help it, I'm right here. You certainly can't scratch your rear end. Yeah, that didn't sound right, did it? You can't scratch on your differential this easy in the truck. Sorry, still thinking about that. There's no better time than now. I'm sure I've said that about every step of the way. And it's true, every step of the way. I just regret it later. But that isn't a later. Oh yeah, I got lots of this to go. I can do this for the whole 30 minutes if you wanted. Wouldn't bother me. I kind of enjoy it. I'll take you to a little more exciting part here in a minute. That's going to clean up good enough. It isn't real oily. I think in that biggest grease spot, it's got just a little oil, but I'll use some brake clean on it. Have her stripped right down the middle. And we'll get this. That's why I got to wear a brush and clean all the little nooks and crannies. Alright, so before I paint this, I was tapping that off. Got that cleaned up good. The inside of that's beautiful. Nice. What I like to do, I'll grab my tape and show you guys this. Yeah, because you've never seen this before. One more of those. No time like the present. So, if you leave these shiny, nice looking spindles here, spindles, English is hard. If you leave these hubs the way they are, they're just gonna get rusty. And how do I do this? Anyway, once they get rusty, you can't go back. They're just rusty. Where if you tape off, I don't want to tape that off. Sorry. If you tape off the center hub, which can get rusty too, but that way you can have the pretty print. They got nice stickers on them that say Moser on them. And if for some reason he goes without center caps, which I can't imagine he would do, they'll be showing. But this way, if you take this stuff off, just takes a minute. Just a minute. Everything just takes a minute. Then you can paint all this and it won't get rusty and nasty. In your wheel, I know people don't think about this, don't worry about this. But where the face of your wheel, the backing part, the mating surface against the flat of this axle, where they meet, if you get rust in there, I know it's just a little bit, but it'll also you won't be able to get your lug nuts as tight because there's rusty, crusty rust behind it, and then your wheels will rust on and kick them off. We don't need none of that. This way I can paint right in around here. You can paint the lug nuts, it won't hurt them, despite what people will say. You can't paint on them. Well, if anything, it works like a really cheap Loctite. No, it doesn't. I mean, I guess it kind of would. It'll come off the first time you put a lug nut on there. So what I'm doing is just, I know this mating surface, I shouldn't necessarily, but I could get you in closer and show you. But there's actually a step or a ledge from the wheel mating surface until they're finished end. And I'm just taping that on front, wow, English is hard, on the front part. And there's a little metal gap behind it, well, I'll paint that because that's where the wheel will actually seat. But on this rim part, I'm not too concerned. And that will be ready for paint. I see it. Alright. I could paint tape around every one of them if it would make you guys feel better. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Let me think about it. No, I'm not doing it. If I'm really concerned, I'll take a rubber hose and just slip over all 5 of them, paint it, and go to that side and do it. So there, not take them all off. Too much work. Oh, I want to show you this. So here's some old lug nuts. Why do I say lug nuts? Here's some old 3/4 inch bolts. And the head was getting a little rusty looking. I thought maybe I should replace it. So when I pulled it out, how do I do this? When I pulled it out, this is what I seen. Yeah, you're seeing that right. Look how much that rusted down there. You just wouldn't have thought it looking at the bolt. So when you see a little rusting, a little cavitation that you don't like, it's probably worse where you can't see it. Pretty good looking solid steel. No, not really. So this, I'll show you that real quick. That's off the fertilizer spreader, nothing too important for you to look at. And then, I gotta look at that cover on there. I wanna see that. Come on, it's kinda neat. I know you can't tell, this is heavy. I mean, it's not heavy. It's got some gravity to it. Those are already touching. Those things that go, well, ain't that nice? Of course, it's 10 volt, but it looks nice. It looks stocky, heavy duty, USA. It's not meant to be chrome and flashy. It's meant to be quality strength with a ribbon in it. All right, enough about that. Put that back in this box over here. It came with the bolts and a gasket, so it's all there when I get this part cleaned up and done. So if I don't start doing it, I'll never get done doing it. So that's why I decided to start on this today. What else do we know new? Let's see. We got farming, all the planting done on the farm. I haven't touched the 71 in Spanish gold. Yeah, I ain't touched it once this week. But I didn't touch this and touch some wheels. Now I've touched them on there. So we're back at things, making it happen again. I hope that's not too loud for you. Sometimes stuff on that camera is really loud. And get these C10s working again. Now I'm going to do a lot more work out here on rainy days, which as of late hasn't been too often. And I will be doing quite a bit of work when it's super hot out, because I now, excuse me, more noise. Because I now have air conditioning in the shop. So before this I only had air conditioning in the garage, never in the shop. So I didn't do much other than, I don't know, change oil in the garage once in a while, that kind of stuff. But clean this up real good, keeping dirt debris out of there. We will double check, blow it out and everything before I put it together and fill it with oil. And speaking of oil, we'll get a controversy started here. The guy who put this together, he's in business, he's professional. He said to use the original standard old school 80-90 oil. Non-synthetic, nothing with any anti-slip, none of that in there, limited slip, glue. So don't use any of that. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Maybe that's a plug for Mosier. Just not using all that additives and pricey oil. Hey, you can stand to change it a little more often when it don't cost you an arm and a leg. This is crusty, but you know, for 1968, not too bad. Imagine the grease and oil this thing could have on it. You can see how tedious this is. I'm really not going to make you watch this the whole time. I just can't stop. I get started and it's like, I want to get that little spot, right? And that little spot. Yeah, and then I could take the corners and get a little more. I love this stuff. I do. Can't stop it. Oh, there's some there too. All right, I'm stopping. I promise. No, just a little more. And there's some right there. Oh yeah, that's a good one. See all that? No, you probably can't. Probably got my head in the way. This side's not so bad. Oh no, there's plenty right there. You know, on my floor. Alright, well, enough with that part. I'm actually thinking about putting that cover on while I clean this, just to keep the dust out. Why don't we do that? Gasket or no gasket? Oh, okay. It won't hurt the gasket. Just set it on there. We'll have to back those things out though. I'll bring it over there so you can see. I'd rather have that cover on. Because I'm inevitably, going for the big words, inevitably going to, oh, I better not try 3 times. I'll never get it right. Fling some dirt in there and then I'll think it's always in there and it'll bother me. So we'll get the cover back out one more time. And we'll get to see the gasket. Yep, it's in there, just like they said it would be. And these screws. They just take a minute. Famous words. Alright. Well, I wonder, I never thought about it. 10 this way? 10, whoops, I did it wrong. No, I had it, and now I messed up. Are you guys laughing yet? I had it right off the bat. Alright, is it 10 this way or 12 that way? It's a 12 volt. Now I wonder if I can turn those by hand. By golly, I can. Now I guess the adjustment on these support pushers is just contact, not tight, not loose, just gentle contact. Just because once they are contacted, I mean, they're on, right? Well, now that's weird. Oh, no, I figured it out. What caught me off was I thought that was a drain plug for a second, but no, there's a drain plug and a fill plug. Of course, Mosier's not going to make one of these. Mosier? Now I say it wrong. Now I'm going to wonder why Moser. They're going to make a differential cover without a drain. Doesn't look long, but that's a thick case. This will just keep out any dirt and debris. I won't even tighten them while you're watching. I'll do that later. Yep, later. I said it. Well, what else have we got going on? I'm just so excited about this, I can't hardly think. Get this in there, get that rear end in there. Make this a roller, put the motor in. Hey, go away, it's my show. I don't have much, but it's my show. There's a fly. We'll get that motor set in there. Once that motor's set down in there, then there's 9 ways to go at that point. There's no running out of things to do. Kind of get exhaust lined up. Not put in, but lined up. Start figuring out where your transmission lines are going to go and start figuring out the things that don't look like they're going to work out. But we all know they will eventually. It's not like you're just going to quit with a truck. So you might say, I don't know how I'm ever going to get it to figure out. But we do. If not, phone a friend. I think we talked about that. Why is that one tight? So yeah, I should chase those threads. That's hard to do because they're all closed. So you chase the threads in and you kind of push the dirt down and you dig out what you can, and it's a pain. You can't really blow them out because the rear end's already built. I want to get dirt and grind on it. I say motor? The differential. So I probably will just chase them with these bolts by hand, back and forth, till I get them cleaned up good. This will be a lot better for cleaning. Well now, look at that. I said it was a 12 bolt. Didn't I say 12 bolt? I didn't count them all, I counted half. And when I counted half, it was 6. So if it's 12, it must be a 13 bolt, because I got 13 bolts. That's pretty cool. You know, there's only 2 kinds of companies that give you extra nuts and bolts. Some of the best companies out there will give you an extra nut and a bolt. And some of the cheap, I guess I needed a spare washer, is what I needed. Oh, and some of the cheap junk out there will throw in an extra nut or bolt because they don't know how well they were assembled. And if you return them all the time, they lose more money than they do on the bolt. I didn't get a spare bolt, which is really nice of them. On a spare washer, but I did find my washer, so we'll put that back in that 91111. It's a 7. 7111 bag. Wow. Sometimes I not talk so good. All right. You already know, don't you? All right, I'll be right back. You know I got to at least snug it down. Just a little. As much as my shop is trash from all this farm garbage, I still got a pretty good feel where my tools are at. Hang on, I didn't leave you. Yeah, these are Pittsburgh brand. Yeah, they're junk. But guess what? They work for me. All right, eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Are we metric or are we SAE? That's That's not for sure. That was just me guessing. The Olympic size guessing game that I'm so bad at. Well, we get the one I don't want to come out comes right out. Oh, I want it to come out, Oh, I don't know, folks. Is that SA or? I got a little slot. I'm gonna call metric. And we're gonna go straight across and see. Yeah, here you are watching me dig out my wrenches. I know, it's embarrassing for me. Boy, I don't know. I think it's gonna be just a little looser than I like SAE. Well, that ain't it. One more. That ain't it. So, I guess it's SAE. They're just a little looser than I like. Or should I say, maybe my Allen driver is looser than I like. I won't blame it on the Moser bolts yet. I just snug them up. That's all we're gonna do. Just right there. Just not even finger tight, just barely touch it snug. I know they make impact wrenches for this. I know, but then how would you not put it on tight? These are pretty quick. There's the one I was worried about. Oh, that ain't bad. Look at that turn over 2 fingers. Piece of cake. Alright. We're gonna get back to cleaning now. The excitement of Darren's life. Cleaning 67 to 72 parts. I probably do as much cleaning as I do wrenching, but that's alright. I couldn't call it Darren's cleaning show. That wouldn't have been very exciting. Instead, I went with the exciting wrenching with Darren. That's all I could think of. Wasn't too concerned with it at the time. Alright, that's together. That's there. Oh, I won't even know what to do. Wheels on, tires on, differential started, trailing arms. We could almost, no, we're not gonna monkey with those. Trailing arms today, not a really big pain. Got them painted up enough I could shoot a little. Should I prime those first? No, there's a dilemma. Do I prime or do I paint? Paint straight on steel, not a good idea. I should probably clean them, let them dry off a little bit before I prime, so. Yeah, I said it prime. That all-in-one paint primer, that's fine. It works. But are those always empty for you too? It does work, but I prefer on something like this to do it.